I'm gonna first ask him to follow me. So use the follow it principle at Reata Horsemanship. That is, first and foremost, I'm gonna put my body between the flag and him. So my body's between the flag and him so that the flag is less intimidating to him. And then I'm gonna put the flag between me and him and see how much more intimidating that is to him. But I'm gonna keep him coming forward, ask for that forward motion. See, I don't want to just go at him with the flag. I actually want him to follow me with this flag until he starts to relax to it. There's some relaxation, so take it away. And you notice I have my lead rope folded here. The reason I do that during the follow it principle is I don't want him stepping on that lead rope as I'm asking him to come forward. As I get him more used to this left side, then I'm going to switch and send him to the right. Now I have the flag in my left hand and I'm going to get him comfortable with this flag on his right side. Remember, work with the horse you have today. So this is a horse we were doing bridling with. We started getting somewhere with the bridling, but he's really reactive to my hat when I started to desensitize with my hat. So I can use this flag, which is 3.5 feet away from me, and be a little bit safer desensitizing with it than with my hat. So Sonny needs lots of repetition of this. When we were in the clinic, we did the stick and string. I think we did the flag too some.
We started the flag and realized how it was working.
Yeah, started the flag and just realized he's very, very reactive to it. Ask him to come forward. Now, if he won't come forward, I'm not going to try to win a tug of war. I'm just going to pull him off balance. There's a good change there. He still doesn't, he likes me. See, I have the flag in my left hand, so I should be on his right side, but he wants me to be on his left side. Before we knock the shed down, I'll come out here. Now I'm going to start approaching him and retreat. Approach and retreat. As soon as he gets nervous about it, I'm going to retreat. Approach and retreat. Approach, retreat. Approach. Approach, retreat. Approach, retreat. Approach, retreat. And you can just see him trying to block me from his right side. He does not want me over here on his right side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a lead beside exercise. So I'm going to desensitize with this flag during lead beside to help get him used to this flag. Just touching him with it. You're going to see a dramatic change here in his reaction to this flag. But even though we're going to get a dramatic change today, we've got to do it for a number of days in a row. And he's a horse that you want to keep up with this desensitizing from time to time. Do it with him. Make sure he's not being reactive to it. So if a horse that's this reactive to a flag is going to be very spooky on the trail, might spook and become out of control reactive, like bolt with you. And I could be wrong, but I like to get horses nice and relaxed to my flag, my stick and string, plastic sheets, walking over plastic sheets, dragging plastic sheets before I ride them, especially before I ride them on the trail. But this is a big hole that we just found, and we just want to work with them and get some positive change today. Finish up with unbridling, bridling a couple more times. But I want to address this super reactivity, overreactivity to the flag. See him start to relax here. I keep approaching and retreating with the flag. I take the flag up to his body, bring it away. Take it up to his body, bring it away. Take it up to his body, bring it away. I might draw him into me here. Good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's quite a reactive horse. And you take a horse that's this big, you know, I'll find he's got to be half draft. I bet he's maybe half draft, half saddlebred, maybe. That's, yeah. And some draft horses have been the most challenging for me to not overreact and bolt on the trail. I remember that. He did good. Tia rode him, yeah. So it's more like on the ground, he's just afraid I might hurt him on the ground, right? Now some people might say, well, that's because he's been abused. You never know why. He might just naturally be afraid of things on the ground. I never assume that a horse has been abused if they're afraid of a flag or stick and string. Usually they're just a really sensitive horse that just need work at it. And really the reason doesn't matter. How are we going to fix it? We're going to fix it by approaching, retreating, helping him get comfortable with this flag. So this is during my lead beside exercise. This is desensitizing with the flag during lead beside. One of my exercises we have in the Reata Horsemanship membership. One of the exercises I teach every single horse that comes through my program. They should be okay with that flag flying overhead, all over, touching them, and flying over them while they're moving forward.
He'll be a good candidate for the new round pin.
Yes, he will. Yeah, great candidate for the round pin. Do some round pinning. You see that change?
Yeah.
Now I see that nice change. I can feel it. I'm going to just give him a break here. I might even reach up here and rub on him. Good boy. I'm going to send him the other way. I might back him up. I'd rather be in a bigger space than that alley. Try it again. But see, I use that flag to help back him up. A lot of times you can use what they're afraid of to help teach them to move their feet. Good. There's a good change. He's actually licking and chewing while we're moving, right? Now I might let him rest and desensitize to rest here. I'm going to keep that lead rope in my hand. Now if he wants to walk off, yield his hindquarters. Yield a little bit more. Approach him. Retreat. Approach him. Retreat. He's getting overreactive.
The slowness of your hands is also critical, right?
Yeah, that's smooth. So there's a saying, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And that smoothness is really important. Like, I'm not jerky. You want to really try to be fluid with your movements. Don't surprise him with your movements. There's a time and a place for that, to work on higher level desensitizing. Once he's really got it figured out that it's not going to hurt him, then you can use more chaos, what I call chaos or arrhythmia, not having rhythm with your movement. But right now, I've got lots of rhythm with my movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back, front, back, up, down, up, down. Some smooth. Now there's his oh-no spot right there by his neck. So you get up close to his head and neck, and now he kind of loses it, right? He's more like kind of an off-the-track thoroughbred that I've had, that's just super reactive to the flag. But they learn, they pick it up, they figure it out, and they stop being reactive to it. He's going to be the same way. Right here is his oh-no spot, or oh-no zone. That's a little better. Start rubbing on him with that pole. I'm trying to keep his feet moving in that forward movement during lead beside, and then desensitize at the same time. So if he can handle what I'm doing with the flag and still keep his feet moving forward, that shows a lot of composure. That shows he's starting to relax to that flag. That's great. So I might yield.
Got that eye looking at you.
Let's go back the other way. So I'm going to switch sides a couple times here to make sure we got a good change that'll stick. If I only get it once on each side, I don't usually, if I can get a lot further the next session if I do it twice on each side, where I really get him to relax. Try to get it twice on each side before I quit. Now I'm starting to up the ante a little bit. I'm waving that flag a little bit more, left to right over his head, front to back over his head. And you can see he doesn't, when I go front to back, when I get up over his head, he doesn't like that. It's okay. Might even go to a windshield wiper. Ask him for movement. Go back to what he knows. Yep. Start back from the beginning and build it again. And it always builds a lot faster the next time. So don't worry if he's overreacting to something, then just back up a little bit and come back to where he was overreacting. You see how he's tolerating this better this time? Build that confidence. If he starts to lose it, back off, build the confidence, build it back up. Build your pressure back up. So this is what I call building desensitizing pressure. Building desensitizing pressure. You can build sensitizing pressure and you can build desensitizing pressure. When I build desensitizing pressure, I'm just increasing his tolerance and his relaxation, improving his relaxation to things that are even more challenging for him. Bigger waves of the flag, stronger waves of the flag, louder waves of the flag. More positions up around his head. What I don't want to do is when he's reacting this way like this, to let him, if he starts backing up and I stop doing what I'm doing, I'm just teaching him to back up. And he's going to start doing this as a habit to get away with, to avoid what I'm doing here. So I'm okay if he goes all the way to the other side, but see, my point, I'm still asking him to go forward. And this is kind of an extreme case there. Right there. So he needs some work on his sensitizing as well, because when I point and he doesn't want to listen to me right here, then I've got to bring that flag in at his pressure to move. Then when he's moving the right... Ooh, son of a gun. We okay?
Yeah.
Getting a little excited over there, aren't we? Was that your little filly?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. She busted that board. When I get up here near his head, his neck and head, he wants to stop and back up. Ask him to come forward, and then go back to my desensitizing. Rub on his neck to his shoulder. He's figuring it out. I'm going to get his feet moving a little bit better. I don't like the consistent trying to back out of my space. So I'm going to actually use that flag to move his feet. When I point, he should move forward. Right there. One thing that happens too with a big old horse like this is he's scared, but he also has learned to use his body weight and his strength to get out of things. So he might start, the general public might be working with a horse like this and he starts backing up and freaking out, and they might just release their pressure. Now I'm not going to increase my pressure while he's backing up and freaking out, but I'm going to maintain it until I can get him to at least move forward a step or two. So if he were in training with me, I'd be doing a lot of this for the first couple days. A lot of round pinning, a lot of this. Just getting him responsive to my... Yeah, round pinning with no lead rope. Just making sure he can pick up speed when I ask him to, that he'll change direction to the inside, that he'll follow me around. So he might not need much round pinning, but I would do a lot of this. This is a horse I would not be riding. I'd be working on this. I want to feel these holes before I ride him. You're going to be much safer in the saddle when you fill these holes first. Now let's see if I can get him to follow me here.
So you're check the box before you get through all this.
Absolutely. Yeah, all of my ground flag desensitizing and my stick and string desensitizing, and doing all the groundwork, sensitizing and desensitizing exercises. I want to make sure my horse is at least 80 to 90% good with those before I consider riding them. And of course, that's all relative to each horse and to the person training the horse. But me personally, I like to feel like they're really responding well. They're not overreacting to anything. They're doing what I ask when I ask it. And they're not overreacting to anything.
So you're pulling him, getting him to release the release, right?
Yes.
Maintaining the pressure off the flag.
Yeah, exactly. So I might be waving the flag like this, And I'm changing directions because if I feel like he pulls against me, I don't want to pull in a straight line. I want to pull him off balance a little bit. And as soon as he comes towards me, I'm going to release that rope. But the flag continues to move here. And right now his challenge is being approached by that flag. That's when he wants to lose it. Or when he feels like he has to lose it. Yep. So I'm doing a little approach and retreat. Approach, and when he starts to leave me or quit me, retreat. Just remind him, hey, it's going to go away. Now, some people might say, hey, aren't you teaching him to raise his head and back up when you do that? Shouldn't you keep the flag on him? There's a time and a place for that. But when I'm first teaching this to horses, because it's a fear response, they're afraid of this flag. So when they start to get afraid and I feel like they're going to change their behavior, then I take the flag away. And usually what that does with most horses is it teaches them not to be anxious about the flag. If I did that for a couple weeks and I wasn't getting a positive result, then I'd resort to more of that flooding technique where I would approach, and if he got scared, I'd just follow him until he finally stopped and relaxed. But early on, I'm going to do this approach and retreat. I'm going to retreat either when he relaxes or when he gets nervous, either one. If I retreat when he gets nervous, hopefully over time he'll get less and less nervous. If I retreat when he relaxes, it's just reinforcing the idea that it's not going to hurt him, he gets to relax and it's going to go away. Good. A lot better.
And you can see he's barely broken a sweat.
Yeah. Yeah, and most of that sweat is probably just nervous sweat. And it's starting to heat up. It's kind of warm this morning, but we're not running him around like crazy. But I'm teaching him to relax, teaching that mind. Now I'm switching the flag to my right hand. Always do both hands, both sides. Good boy. Now I'm going to desensitize to rest. So now he's not moving. See him licking and chewing? I'm going to approach with that flag, then I'm going to wave with the flag, and I'm going to go along his body, probably get back to his hindquarters. I don't think I'll get all the way behind him right now, but at least get back to his hindquarter position. Remember to go look at my Desensitizing Secrets Masterclass to watch all these exercises, specifically the desensitizing exercises on the ground that I use when I'm training my horses. So whether a horse comes to me and is an advanced roping horse, or a horse comes to me and is just getting started under saddle, I do the same things with all those horses. No matter how advanced the horse is, I take them through the same things, because I want to make sure I fill in all the holes before I start riding them, start putting my life at risk by getting on them. So if they're advanced roping horses, I've had advanced roping horses, they had a bucking problem when you threw the rope and it hit the ground. If you didn't catch the calf and the rope hit the ground and they saw that coming towards them, they would blow up and buck their rider off. So it doesn't, I can find that hole really quickly if I start doing these kind of exercises on the ground.
So if he started moving around, you would just desensitize him you would start moving, pulling him forward?
Probably right now, because I'm desensitizing to rest, if he started to move, let's create the scenario. So if he started to move, I'm going to actually draw him to me. I call it the drawing in method. So I'll draw him to me. I'm not going to send him around like I was. I'm just going to draw him to me until he stops, and then
Get back in front and you would
start again. So I'm not going to put myself in front, but I'm going to draw him to me so that I am in front. So I'm not going to walk around to his front.
Oh, you pull him around.
I'd pull him around. So let's assume he started to walk off. I don't want to make him walk off right now because he's being so good, and I don't want to mess up what we've already created here, because this is great, right?
Yep.
So if he started, let's say I was doing this and I didn't quit him before he quit me soon enough, and he started to walk off. So he quits me, that means he's walking and I wanted him to stand still. That's quitting me. That's what I call quitting me. So you understand, if I quit him, if I start to notice he gets nervous and I retreat and rub on him and he doesn't move, then I quit him before he quits me. If I'm waving the flag and he gets nervous and starts to walk, then he quit me before I quit him. So if he quits me before I quit him, I'm just going to do exactly this. I'm going to draw him to me. Then I'm going to approach him again. Now he's sensitive to this front end, so this approaching is challenging for me, especially now the wind's starting to blow. But I would start all over again. Start from the front. Yeah, he does. So he doesn't like being rubbed by the pole of that flag right there. Good. So now, look, I'm approaching and I'm retreating. So my retreat right now is going away from him. Approaching.
You're retreating, desensitizing.
I'm retreating to something easier. Both of them are desensitizing. I'm desensitizing here to touch and sound. And then I'm going to wave back here. That's retreat. I'm retreating, but that's easier for him. See, he's licking and chewing. That's easier for him over here than if a flag's right in his face. So now he's starting to relax to that. So if he had walked off, then I'm going to draw him into me, get him comfortable with the flag around his head again, and then I'm going to start desensitizing to rest, letting him stand there and start going around his body. Retreat and rub on him. So now, look, see what I'm doing here? This is the higher pressure, and then when I retreat and rub on him, this is easier, typically. Some horses it's harder when I retreat and rub, so I would actually call this desensitizing, and this is easier retreating desensitizing. So I retreat back here, rub for difficulty, retreat for ease. But a lot of horses, this is harder. I retreat and rub on them, remind them, hey, this isn't going to hurt you. And then wave my flag again. You see I raise his head a little bit. So on and so forth. Okay, let me just approach his head one more time. So we've gotten somewhere today, but you know he needs a lot of this.
He's going to be such a great horse. He has been a great horse.
He is going to be, if he, as sensitive as he is to the stick and string and the flag, and the fact that he rode so well out on the trail, he's really going to be an incredible horse. He just needs to figure out that this stuff isn't going to hurt him.
Yeah.
And it won't take too long. It's like all my Arabians. Most of my Arabian horses that I train, I'll take that stick and string and I'll flick that string around their front legs and they'll strike at it. I've had horses drop to their knees because they just hate that feeling on their legs. They're so sensitive. And within a week or so, I'm desensitizing during ground tying all the way around them with the stick and string. They're totally relaxed to it. They're super smart, but they can be real reactive at first. And if you don't address it correctly, you can create an even more reactive horse. Good boy. Okay, I'm just going to toss that flag away. Now I'm going to go back and use my hat, because this is what we started out with and what he was afraid of, right? Remember I took that off and he was freaking out by it? Now we'll just go through the same thing. So this is... Now because I don't have a long flagpole to get closer to him, I have to be a little more careful here. What he doesn't like is the sound of that hat. That's part of it, like the sound of the cap. Good boy. Approach and retreat. Approach and retreat. Approach, retreat. Good boy. Switch hands. See, that tapping hit the bit, that side piece really bothered him. is that sound. Looking for a little change there, just like when I was rubbing on his nose. People will say, oh, you silly, you shouldn't be afraid of that. It doesn't matter why he's afraid of it, but he is. So instead of judging him for being afraid of it, just work with him and help him be not afraid of it. People get real frustrated with their horse because they're afraid of something, but they're not intentionally afraid of something, they just are. And that's hard to do mentally. It's hard to get in that emotional state where we're not getting upset with our horse because they're afraid of something.
Are you a full cheek snaffle fan?
I usually don't use full cheek snaffles. I don't like the big piece that could get in the way and get caught on something. You could be riding along a fence and they could stick their head out and get the bit caught in the fence. I mean, at least hit it and jerk on their mouth, you know. So me personally, I just don't use them much. I don't really have anything against them besides they do get in the way a little bit, those long bars here. You can see how easily they could catch that in something.
Good point.
I like a D-ring or an O-ring snaffle that has a chin strap and do just fine with those. I know in the English world there's a lot of full cheek snaffle. And the Lions do full cheeks, right? That's John Lyon's bit. Bridle. See that sound? He didn't like that sound. Hear that sound?
Yeah. Getting better though.
Yeah. So there, he lowered his head.
Long to work through his little holes.
There, look at that. So I'll just take that completely away.
Look at there. Drop the head.
Beautiful. I like that. So now we'll go back. Let's mess with his ears a little bit. Let's make sure he doesn't care about me taking the reins on and off. Good. And let's go take this bridle off. If I take it off comfortably, put it back on and take it off one more time, we'll call it a day. So work over that one ear. Now he's kind of, again, reactive to that, so I'm going to put it back in. Take it over the ear, that was better. Take it over that ear, he's kind of lifting his head, lower it. Put the ear back in. Let's work on that ear a little, lower his head. Good. Most horses, when they figure it out, they like their ears being rubbed on. But it's not something that's very natural to them. You know, horses don't rub each other's ears. They scratch each other on the back, on the butt, but they don't rub each other's ears. So ears are very sensitive, and they're used maintenance is going to be less and less. It doesn't have to be the same. Go to reatahorsemanship.com and give us a holler. Contact us through the contact form, or there's other ways you can actually call us and or text us, and we'll get in touch with you and set up a house call with you. We look forward to working with you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be safe.